A little while back, we analysed a brand new photo released by NASA detailing a strange shape carved out in a rocky facade on the surface of Mars. It looked like a Martian doorway hidden amidst the red planet's rugged terrain, even though it was most likely just the serendipitous effect of quakes in the crust and the fracturing of surrounding rocks. However, that didn't stop our imagination, and the imaginations of people from all over the Earth run wild with ideas and stories about what exactly happened on Mars. And even if the mysterious doorway was just a result of Mother Nature, or whatever equivalent exists on Mars, it still makes us wonder, what other kind of odd yet spellbinding discoveries had been made on Mars and photographed for the general public's viewing pleasure? It didn't take long pursuing the photo albums supplied by NASA and other space agencies to find that the interesting and intriguing visuals captured on Mars truly are so unique they could be born straight from our human fantasies. Rest assured, all of the photos and images you are about to see are not doctored or computer generated. They are all authentic looks at our red planet, 129 million miles from Earth. 3 mind-blowing pictures that made us realize there is no place in the universe like Mars. If you thought the first doorway we showcased was intriguing enough, we promise there are even more weird yet interesting openings into the depths of the red planet waiting to be discovered. One of the many perplexing openings is one hole in particular, found on the slopes of the Perusing Mons volcano located in the Tharsis region of Mars. The hole was first found in 2011 when a robotic probe called the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter captured an image of the red planet's volcano using the high-rise camera tool. At first, astronomers weren't sure what the volcanic formation depicted. It looks a lot like a cavern carved out from a mountain, but how could such an enclave exist? While the hole was mysterious, it left researchers excited about its prospects. Caves on the red planet are considered the most likely places to withhold signs or evidence of life on Mars, as well as providing potential future missions a hideout from the intense radiation effluent on the red planet's surface. Thus, astronomers believed the Perusing Mons cavern would be the perfect exploration point for future manned missions to Mars. However, after further studies of the cavern, the mostly imaginative theories about the hole's origins were put to rest. While many wanted to claim the cavern as leftovers from an ancient Martian mining operation, or proof that the sandworms from Frank Herbert's Dune exist in the real universe, there is actually a much simpler explanation. The hole in question is a skylight, seen on lava tubes, created by an active volcano flow on Mars millions upon millions of years ago. It's nothing more than an opening on a lava tube, giving onlookers a glance into the tube's interior. They are born when the roof of an active lava tube collapses, creating a hole-like appearance on the lava tube's exterior. The skylight in question is estimated to be around 115 feet or 35 meters across and 295 feet or 90 meters from the opening. These numbers were actually calculated from an updated image of the skylight, created with a digital terrain mapping software, after astronomers realized the dirt pile surrounding the hole to be a minimum of 203 feet, or 62 meters tall. If these calculations are correct, it makes the Perusing Mons skylight bigger than any lava tube found on Earth or on Mars to this point. Not only that, but the Martian skylight is also of a different shape than your average earthly skylights. Lava tubes at home are around 20 feet, or 6 meters across, and rarely feature any sort of depth close to that of the Perusing Mons. It leaves both astronomers and us back to wondering, how could such a unique skylight form the way it did? Would the answer allow us to further study the history of life on Mars? The possibilities are endless, making this unique doorway more of a figurative one than a literal one. You've probably heard the saying, but in this world nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes. First written by the great American thinker Benjamin Franklin. You could add a couple of things to the list, first and foremost being that it is 100% certain each day the sun shall rise in the east and set in the west. The second fact might be that in between such occurrences, the sky will appear blue, as long as there are no clouds or rainstorms to shield our view from the upper atmosphere. If you've never researched why, the sky isn't blue simply out of randomness. Rather, the sky is blue because the air within the Earth's atmosphere is full of incredibly tiny particles of various gases. These gases, consisting mostly of nitrogen and oxygen, with a bit of carbon dioxide and hydrogen mixed in, are very adept at scattering blue light. Sunrises and sunsets, however, tell a different story. Because the light takes a longer time to reach our eyes here on Earth in both the dawn and dusk periods of the day, the minuscule gas particles become much better at scattering red and yellow light, hence the orange glow in the sky rather than blue during sunrise or sunset. But what would it look like if these tendencies were reversed? Look no further than the red planet. What makes Mars so unique when compared to Earth is its inverted sky colours, creating an opposite colour effect during all phases of the sun's positioning against Mars's backdrop. Take a look at these photos, snapped by the Mastcam tools found aboard the rover Curiosity on April 15, 2015. For whatever reason, the rover had gone nearly 3 full years without ever pointing its high-powered cameras towards the Martian sky and sunset, and its first time doing so brought forth zero disappointment. What you see is a blue-green haze hanging in front of the sun at sunset. The reason the sky appears blue rather than orange is the same reason why the sky on Earth appears orange rather than blue. During the day, Mars features the orange sky rather than the blue sky we are so accustomed to seeing. This is because the dust particles that are so prolific in the Martian atmosphere are bigger than the gas particles in our home atmosphere. As a result, the larger particles are able to scatter the red and yellow light more effectively during the day, and we are left with a red sky watching over the red planet. Thus, the sun's distance at sunrise and sunset allow for the blue light waves to scatter at a higher rate on Mars, creating the inverted blue-green appearance of dawn and dusk. As an additional fun fact, the photos from Curiosity you are seeing were actually printed in black and white, and color corrected using various softwares and AI systems to perfectly recreate what the rover actually saw on April 15, 2015. Maybe one day we'll be able to venture to Mars and watch a turquoise sunset with our own naked eyes. It's common knowledge that it hasn't rained on Mars like we experience rain here on Earth for thousands of millennia, 3.7 billion years to be exact. While the lack of rain has obviously made sustaining life on the red planet increasingly difficult, keeping the terrain uninhabitable with the combination of intense radiation, its lack of aquatic precipitation has actually led to incredibly unique ground formations scattered across the Copernicus crater of the Terra Sirenum Highlands. And in an ironic twist, these formations appear much like raindrops when viewed from above. This image you see now was captured on March 25, 2013 by the Compact Reconnaissance Imaging Spectrometer for Mars, also called CRISM. CRISM is a visible infrared spectrometer on the same probe that captured the Pavonis Mons skylight image. What you are seeing, however, aren't actual raindrops. The turquoise teardrop shapes are really sand dunes featuring bountiful amounts of olivine, a magnesium iron silicate captured at an altitude of 253 kilometers. Olivine is normally found in igneous rocks and is one of the most common materials found throughout all of the Earth's mantle. The reason we don't see it much on the surface here at home has to do with the mineral's tendency to weather away into basic clay with the presence of water. Because water exists at nearly every place on Earth, most surface-level olivine is turned into clay before human eyes can ever lay eyes on it. So it would make sense that for a place so barren of any moisture, like Mars, olivine-filled sand dunes would be prolific anywhere the magnesium iron silicate pops up, leaving us and the probes that study the red planet ready to amaze us with incredible visuals. In addition, there is another crater called Copernicus somewhere out in the solar system that also features olivine-enriched bedrock. These formations are found on the Moon. However, that crater in question does not include teardrop-shaped sand dunes, making the Rainless Raindrops of Mars a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and yet another fascinating quirk of the red planet 140 million miles away.